Yo! What's up? Today, we're gonna be doing another tier list. This tier list is going to be which Pokemon would taste the best. Let's start with the Bulbasaur. Yeah, Bulbasaur is a plant, which is good. Since he hasn't sprouted his flower yet, I'm gonna put him in he's yummy. He's just a salad, to be fair. Ivysaur and Venusaur, on the other hand, they have flowers sprouted. And to be honest, I hate the taste of flowers. So I'm gonna put it, I'd put both of them, and I'd eat it if I was desperate. Next up, we got Charmander. Charmander's an interesting one, because can you even cook him? He's already on fire, but he's not being cooked. I think you'd have to eat him raw. I'm gonna put it in no shot. I'm gonna put all three of them in no shot, because I don't think you can cook these guys. Okay, next up we got Squirtle. Now Squirtle's a turtle. And I know there's like turtle soup. It sounds disgusting to me, but I know it's a thing. And my brother has gotten turtle jerky before, and he said it was okay. I think he said it tastes like chicken. I think I'm gonna put Squirtle in and War Turtle in just okay. But Blastoise is huge. He could feed a whole family. I'm gonna put him in yummy. We got Caterpie. Eating bugs is like a thing. I don't really eat bugs, but it's a thing. I think I'd put Caterpie in just okay. Metapod's in no shot. I don't want to break my teeth. And Butterfree? Oh, here's something to consider. Butterfree has butter in the name. Butterfree's kind of made out of butter. I'll put in just okay. Weedle's getting basically the same treatment as Caterpie here. Weedle's a just okay. Kakuna's a no shot. Beedrill is also no shot, because I don't want to sting myself when I'm eating. Next up's Pidgey. Let's see, how do pigeons taste? Pigeons taste like gamey chicken. Game bird meat is usually described as being chicken in some form or other. Gamey, richer, fattier, and sweeter. So we're gonna put Pidgey in I'd eat if I was desperate, because apparently it's a little bit like chicken. Pidgeotto, just a bigger Pidgey. Pidgeot is just a bigger Pidgeotto, but it's big enough that I think I'd put in just okay because it could feed my family if needed. Rattata. How do rats taste? Apparently, rat meat is a bit like pork, but very tender. That sounds good. Maybe it's too tender. I think we're gonna put Rattata, honestly, in yummy. Raticate's also in yummy. It's not a delicacy, but if it's like pork and it's tender, that's pretty good. Spearow. It's probably just gonna be the same case as these two. Ekans is a snake, if you didn't know. I'd have to imagine it wouldn't taste great, but it's definitely edible, so I'd put both Ekans and Arbok, and I'd eat if I was desperate. Pikachu is a mouse, an electric mouse, so I think it's got the same ideology behind it as Rattata and Raticate do. But can it shock you when you eat it? That's the question. That's the question. Maybe it's just like a little tingle, like a static shock, or maybe like you die if you eat this. I'm gonna put them in both Pikachu and Raichu, and I'd eat if I was desperate. Okay, next up we've got Sandshrew. Now that just sounds disgusting. I think Sandshrew and Sandslash are an easy no shot. Easy. What is Nidoran? I don't know what Nidoran is. Nidoran is the poison pin. That doesn't help. What's a pin? I mean, it's poisonous. Can you eat poisonous things? Or is it venomous things you can't eat? Poisonous, you can't eat, or you will die. Honestly, all the Nidorans are easy. Actually, I'll just make a new tier. Literally would die. All these go in it. All the Nidorans, all the Nidorino, Nidorina, Nidoking, Nidoqueen. Clefairy and Clefable. Is it just like the fairy Pokemon? Yeah, it's just the fairy Pokemon. A fairy could taste really good. They're like magical, right? Maybe it has a magical taste. Clefairy and Clefable are going an absolute delicacy. Next up, we've got Vulpix. Vulpix is a fox. They taste very bland and dry, almost like kangaroo. I don't know what kangaroos taste like. Let's see. Gamey meat. I just don't think it would taste good. I'm gonna have to put Vulpix and Ninetales in no shot. Now we got Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff would be very, very fluffy. And I can't think of anything fluffy that I would like to eat. The only thing I could think of is a peach, but that's not really fluffy. It's kind of just like fuzzy. I think eating a Jigglypuff would be like eating a stuffed animal. So I'm going to put Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff both in no shot. And Zubat, COVID's already around. So honestly, I'm putting Zubat and Golbat and I'd literally die. Even if I weren't to literally die, me eating a bat would infect apparently the whole world. Okay, next up we've got Oddish. Now Oddish is just a radish, right? Wait, Oddish is a weed? I'm just gonna say Oddish is a radish because he looks like a radish. Radishes are okay. I'll put radish in yummy. Or Oddish. I'll put Oddish in yummy. Actually, wait. I'll be fair. I'll actually put Oddish in absolute delicacy. Because he's pretty much a food. Pretty much a food. I don't care if it says he's a weed Pokemon. He's a radish to me. Gloom is kind of like a radish, but if it was drooling, and that's gross. That's putting in just okay. Vileplume, and I'd eat if I was desperate. Next up, we've got Paris. Paris is a crab. Kind of. Right? Is Paris a crab? Yeah, I'm gonna say Paris is a crab. But it's got mushrooms growing out, and I think they're probably poisonous mushrooms. Even though Paris is just a bug grass type, I think the mushrooms are poisonous. I'm gonna put both Paris and Parasect in I would literally die. Next up, we've got Venonat. Venonat's in the same realm as Jigglypuff here, except Jigglypuff's cute and Venonat's not. I think Venonat would be extremely fluffy, and I don't really want to eat anything fluffy. That's going in no shot. Next, we got Venomoth. I'd put it in I'd eat if I was desperate. Diglett. What the heck is Diglett? Diglett looks like a fudge bar. Like a frozen fudge bar. Diglett's an absolute delicacy, boys. And Dugtrio's 3 Diglets! He's 3 fudge bars! Meowth is a cat. I don't eat cats. There's cultures around the world that do. Because of that, I'll put it in desperate. Same with Persian, just a big cat. Next up, we got Psyduck. Psyduck and Golduck are both going to go in absolute delicacy. They're just a food, to be honest. Mankey and Primeape. I'm going to put Mankey and Primeape both in absolute delicacies because they're part pig, right? Look at the snouts. They're part pig. So it's just pork. But they're also monkeys. But ignore that. They're part pig. Growlithe is a dog. It's going to get the same treatment as Meowth and Persian. Growlithe and Arcanine are both going in desperate. Next up, we've got Poliwag. What is Poliwag? It's like a tadpole, right? Yeah, it's a tadpole. Tadpoles turn into frogs. People eat frogs sometimes, I guess. I'd probably put... Oh, wait. Poliwag... Is Poliwag like LSD? Because look at that swirl. I think you drug yourself if you eat Poliwag. I think it's going to have to go in an I desperate. If I'm desperate, I'd eat it. Next up, we've got Abra. I don't really necessarily know what Abra is. Psypoke. That doesn't help. To me, Abra always seemed like a shell. Like imagine like a cicada shell that you'd find around. Abra, Kadabra, and Alakazam all remind me of that. Just for some different animal. Like a cat, maybe. They're like an exoskeleton. I think that would taste disgusting, so I'm going to put them all in no shot. Machop, Machoke, and Machamp. If I were to eat either of them, I would be arrested for cannibalism. I'm going to make a new tier for that. There we go. All of them going straight into I'd be arrested. Bellsprout, Weepinbell, Victreebel, all salads. I did say Bulbasaur was only yummy because he's a salad, but to be fair, only like 30% of him is a salad. The rest of him is like some type of reptile. For these, they're pretty much all salad. You can probably eat all of them. They're all going in absolute delicacy. Next up's Tentacool. Asian cultures eat squid sometimes. I'm gonna have to put them in absolute delicacy. Obviously, I wouldn't eat Geodude, Graveler, or Golem. In that case, they'd all go in no shot. But also, I think if I were to eat anything bigger than a Geodude, I would die. I think I would die from it. So Geodude's going in no shot, and Graveler and Golem are both going in that literally would die. Next up is Ponyta and Rapidash. I think they're going to get the same treatment as Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard. They're already on fire, and they're not cooking. So they're going in no shot, because you can't eat them raw. What is Slowpoke? The dopey poke. I don't know what is it though? A hippo? Maybe. I'd eat it if I was desperate. Magnemite and Magneton. They'll both go in no shot. No, if I were to eat it, I'd die. So they're going and I'd literally die. Farfetch'd is another bird, so probably tastes like gamey chicken, just like Pidgey and Pidgeotto. I'd eat it if I was desperate. I'd rather just eat a chicken, but I'd eat it if needed. Doduo and Dodrio, pretty much the same case. Actually, they're flamingos. Let's see what flamingos taste like. They taste like hippos. By default, they go in the same tier that they're in. Like, next up is seal. What does a seal taste like? Seals are equal parts gamey and fishy. They're gonna have to go in. If I was desperate, I'd eat it. Grimer and Muck are based on like garbage, right? If I were to eat them, I think I'd die. Like, they're sludge. Next up, we've got Shellder and Cloyster. Shellder and Cloyster are like oysters. People eat oysters, so I think they're gonna have to go an absolute delicacy. They're pretty much just a food. Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar. Could you even eat these? I don't think you could eat these. I don't think it's possible. I'm making a new tier for that. Uneatable. I think they're all going in that. I don't think you can actually eat those. I don't think it's possible. Onyx, same case as Graveler and Golem. I would literally die if I ate it. Drowzee and Hypno. Drowzee is the Hypnosis Pokemon. That doesn't really explain what it is. It's like an elephant, right? That's like an elephant snout. I don't know. I guess I'd put it in maybe. Eat it if I was desperate. I don't really have much of input on that one. Krabby and Kingler. Literally just crabs. They're delicacies. Voltorb and Electrode. So the way you can look at them, they could be like a jawbreaker or like a gumball. I'm gonna put it in just okay because it's possible that it could be a jawbreaker or it could possibly kill you. A Voltorb Anatomy? Huh. In that case, they're probably going and I would literally die. Next up, we got Execute. Literally just eggs. Executor. Coconuts? They're just foods. Cubone and Marowak. I feel like they're just going to be regular old meat. As long as you avoid the bones, you're fine. I'm going to put them in just okay. Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan are both like humanoids. I think I'd probably get arrested if I eat them. Cannibalism. Lickitung would eat me. That's a new tier. There we go. What do you mean? I need to change these colors. Coughing and Wheezing, I think, are basically the same case as Grimer and Muck. They're based off of like the haze in like giant cities, like big cities. I'm gonna put them in a die. It's just like terrible for you if you ate it. Rhyhorn, Rhydon. I'm pretty much just the same case as Graveler, Golem, and Onyx. They're giant rocks. I think I'd die if I tried to eat them. Chansey's got an egg. So that's already boosts her status. Ooh, Chansey's heal you. I think Chansey might be a good old absolute delicacy. I think so. Tangela Spaghetti. That's just a delicacy. Kangaskhan. You get 2 for the price of 1. I don't know what animal Kangaskhan... Oh wait, it's kind of like a kangaroo, right? Kangaskhan's like a big bulky kangaroo. Because it's got that pouch. I'd probably put Kangaskhan in Yummy. Because you get 2. You get to eat Kangaskhan and its baby. Horsea is a seahorse. Can you even eat those? Seahorses are edible. And they're regarded as a delicacy in China, Japan, and other Asian countries. So, another delicacy. Goldeen and Sea King. They're just goldfish. I don't necessarily think they're great, but they're fish. So I'll put them in just okay. Staryu and Starmie are like, they're like made out of something. They're not flesh. What are they even made out of? Probably like stone? I'd have to imagine it's stone. I'm gonna have to put it in literally would die. Eating Mr. Mime is again cannibalism. We're putting that and I'd be arrested. Since I've eaten Cricket before, I think Scyther wouldn't be too bad. I'm putting it in Yummy. Jinx is way too human-like for me not to get arrested, right? I think Jinx is another I'd be arrested. Electabuzz, I feel like would electrocute me if I ate it. Magmar also can't be eaten because it's on fire and it's not being cooked. So Magmar's a no shot. Electabuzz is I would literally die. Pinsir to me is like another exoskeleton. Just like I think Abra is. I think it just would be like eating a cicada shell. And that's a no shot for me. Tauros is just beef. Tauros is an absolute delicacy. We've got Magikarp. Magikarp could be sushi. So I think Magikarp's gonna go in delicacy. Gyarados is just like a mythical thing. It's like a mythical sea creature. I think that would probably go in delicacy too, to be honest. For Lapras, what is Lapras? What's it gonna describe it as? Lapras is a transport Pokemon. Oh wait, Lapras is like Nessie. The Loch Ness Monster, right? Look at it. I think that's gotta be what it's based off of. I think that's probably a delicacy. But you'd probably also be arrested if you cooked the Loch Ness Monster. If you found it and then cooked it, I think the government would have a problem. I'm gonna put it and be arrested. Ditto is the most overpowered Pokemon ever because it could be any food. 1, it looks like bubblegum. 2, you could ask it to transform into any meal you want. Ditto gets its own tier. There we go. Ditto is all food. Next up, we've got Eevee. Eevee's kind of like a mix of a cat and a dog. I think that's what they were going for. I think Eevee would just be like a just okay. To be fair, cat and dog went as in if I was desperate. So I think Eevee's gonna have to go there too. Vaporeon, I feel like could be made into sushi. Sushi is also going in delicacy. Jolteon, I think there's no shot I'd ever eat Jolteon. It looks spiky. It would probably hurt. It might electrocute me. Gonna go in no shot. Flareon, honestly, probably just same as Eevee. Just a red Eevee. Porygon would be eating Porygon would be the equivalent of eating plastic, I think. Porygon's just like a 3D printed thing, right? It's gotta be. I might die if I eat Porygon. Omastar and Almanite. So they are some type of sea creature. And most sea creatures, I would say, are edible. But also, they came from a fossil. So they're old. They're probably out of date. I'm gonna put them and literally would die. Kabuto, Kabutops, also the same thing. I would literally die. Aerodactyl, also old, would literally die. Snorlax could feed an entire nation. Snorlax is an absolute delicacy. Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres. I think Articuno would forever be frozen, so there's no shot I would be able to eat it. Zapdos, same thing as Jolteon, just really spiky, really unpleasant probably to chew. Going in a no shot. Moltres, again, same as Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard. It's on fire, it's not cooking, it's raw. That's a no shot. Okay, Dratini and Dragonair are both kind of like slugs. People in France eat snails, so they're kind of like that. I think that's gonna go in probably a yummy, to be honest. Probably a yummy. Dragonite, on the other hand, is a mythical creature, similar to how I ranked Clefairy and Clefable. I think it's gonna have to go in an absolute delicacy. Mewtwo's like an Egyptian cat, kind of like Beerus from Dragon Ball. I'm gonna put it in a no shot. Mew, pretty much the same treatment as Ditto. Mew can learn transform. It can transform into anything, any food. Ditto's a little better because its default form might taste like bubblegum, but because of transform, it's also going in the top tier.